Hello.
Tell
Wave.
the camera hi.
Okay, turn around. Turn around and listen to Megan. Okay.
Hello, my name's Megan Walsh, and today I want to share with you about relationship abuse. In a 12-month period, 1 in 10 high school students nationwide reported they were physically hurt on purpose by their boyfriend or girlfriend, and still more experienced verbal or emotional abuse, such as bullying, shaming, or threats, said President Barack Obama during Teen Dating Violence Awareness Month at the beginning of last year. For many young people, dating relationships are new and exciting. And it is common that we get so consumed with the status of being in a relationship that the relationship itself may not be as great as it seems. It can seem cool, but it can be just as dangerous as a fish biting a hook. The lure is pretty and tempting, but it only leads to pain. In 2009, artist Chris Brown was publicly put to trial for the beating of his then-girlfriend Rihanna. The public was outraged and shocked, and this highly publicized incident led to a rise in awareness for relationship abuse. Many young people find themselves in these kind of abusive relationships, and the sad part is, many do not recognize the abuse for what it truly is. I want to familiarize you with the common characteristics of an abusive relationship so that you can be aware for your friends and for yourself. Physical abuse. Physical abuse gets silenced, particularly in relationships where the one inflicting abuse has had more experience in a relationship or an extensive dating history and is able to manipulate the abused into not making a big deal of it or not telling anyone. For the abused ones, this can be very stressful and difficult to talk about it, but it is so important that we realize how dangerous this type of abuse is if it lets continue. Physical abuse includes, but is not limited to, hitting, striking, beating, burning, pushing, or kicking. Sometimes the abuser can make it seem like a game, or they apologize profusely, but don't actually mean it. Either one of these methods can lead to an abusive cycle that is very hard to break free of. Currently, statistics tell us that 1 in 4 students will experience some form of abuse in their relationships between the ages of 12 and 21. And young women aged 16 to 24 are the most likely to experience the highest rate of relationship abuse. It is also the #1 cause of injury to women between the ages of 15 and 44. Physical abuse should never be silenced. Neither should emotional abuse. Disrespect, condemnation, criticism, insulting behavior, or over-controlling behavioral patterns are all examples of emotional abuse that many young people do not recognize. It gets brushed off like a joke or a game, but the truth is that the longer we allow this abuse to continue, the more serious it becomes. It can tear apart the confidence and self-respect of the victim, and it can make them feel weak and not strong enough or smart enough to do anything without advice or permission. Verbal abuse is similar to emotional abuse in the way it pulls apart its victims. Excessive yelling, insulting, negative jokes about the other person, or a demeaning tone of voice and words are all examples of verbal abuse. Kieran Richardson, who played Steve in Hollyoaks, said this: "Domestic violence affects many young people, whether in their relationships with others or if they have grown up with violence in their homes. Violence and bullying in relationships is never acceptable. Not only should we expect to be respected in relationships, but we should also give respect to others as well." Abuse in relationships is very important to identify. The more we ignore it, the more common it becomes, and the more we get used to it. And we should not have to get used to abuse. As young people, we have the ability to learn about this now, to recognize it now, and this can make a huge difference in affecting our future marriage relationships. When we take a stand for it now, and by supporting our friends who are going through this bad relationships, we have a chance to stop verbal, physical, and emotional abuse from continuing on. The more we ignore it, forget about it, or don't notice it at all, the more likely it is that our friends will be hurt, or that we will be hurt. Do not ignore the signs, and do not keep quiet if it is happening to you or a loved one. Thank you.
Yay.
Yay.